Welcome to the Ethical Affiliate, the podcast that's all about living life on your own terms through the exciting world of ethical affiliate marketing. I'm your host, Ida.
And I'm Tim.
And in each episode, we'll be exploring the possibilities, strategies, and mindset shifts that can empower you to build a business that aligns with your values and allows you to design the life you've always dreamed of.
Join us as we share our journey and hear from industry experts and successful affiliate marketers who have embraced this new approach to business. Discover the strategies they use to navigate the ever-evolving digital landscape, build sustainable income streams, and most importantly, live life on their own terms.
So buckle up and get ready for a journey into the world of ethical affiliate marketing. This is the Ethical Affiliate, where we believe that living life on your own terms is not just a dream, it's a reality waiting to be created. Thanks for joining us, and let's dive in.
Welcome to episode 23 of the Ethical Affiliate. My name is Tim Gregg, and my beautiful host is
Ida Trovato. Hello, everyone. How you doing?
We're all great. I shouldn't be answering for them, should I? Today we have our wonderful guest on, Kiley Tolson from Mackay in North Queensland. Is it North Queensland or is it just Queensland to you Queenslanders?
I believe it's North Queensland, although some people reckon we're central. I reckon we're north. We're just slightly north of central.
A long way up. I know that much.
Yes.
Kiley, I'll let Kiley introduce herself. Essentially, Kiley is a high-ticket affiliate marketer who helps rural women go from their normal life to a life of wonderful freedom, I'm assuming. So, Kiley, tell me, how did you get into affiliate marketing?
Well, I've been doing this now for about 4.5 years. And before this, I had never even heard of affiliate marketing. So prior to this, I was working in my family stock feed business. I'd been doing that for about 30 plus years. And I was also at home. My husband and I were building a free range pig farm. So we had a lot going on at home, and I was helping manage the stock feed business with my sister at work. So I was doing the 9 to 5 hours, and I was getting up early in the morning before work and doing the farm, and then getting home and then doing the farm as well. So my husband also works away. So he works 7 on, 7 off out at the mines. So half the time I was here on my own as well. And so I was doing everything. So I was building this free range pig farm. I also have like 9 horses. We've got cows. At the time we had sheep and goats, and we had everything. Like, we literally had a menagerie. So it was a pretty big task to get up in the morning, feed everything, try and be on time to work, and then, come home and do it again. And in winter, you'd be coming home in the dark. So that's what I was doing when I discovered this. And I was actually starting to feel like everything was just way too much. I was getting a bit burnt out. I'd been obviously at the stock feed shop for, like I said, 30 plus years. And I was actually really, I had helped my father build the business, and seeing him still working in his 70s, seeing what it was doing to his body after all those years. And, he's a really strong man. He works really hard. He doesn't know how to stop, actually. Still, he's retired and he still turns up there most days. So I was seeing that and I was thinking, I don't actually want that. I do not want that. I don't want to, be here in my late 70s. I want to actually be home with my horses. I'm a horsey person. I wanted to just be spending heaps of time on my beautiful property. And that was the whole idea behind the pig farm too, because we thought maybe we could do something where we could stay home. But no, that was actually costing a lot of money and taking up so much time, and we just couldn't get away. Like, all of our adult kids lived in Brisbane. Yeah. And we could not actually, just to get away, to leave the farm in somebody else's hands, that was near impossible. And it was a big ask for anyone. Mm. And, and also we were coming off the back of a drought. So the cost of feed at the time was astronomical. So it was costing us a lot more than it was worth. really. And it was just so much work, so much work. And when the shit hit the fan, basically, I hope I'm allowed to swear.
Absolutely.
Stopped us.
I was usually at home on my own handling it all. So yeah, I thought I was too busy for anything else, but honestly, in my heart, I knew I needed something else. So I was scrolling Facebook one day, and I didn't know at the time, but a couple of women I knew were actually already doing this. And I started actually taking a bit of notice of some posts they had on social media. And I noticed that they were doing more of the things they love. They were horsey women like me. So doing more with their horses. They seem to be really having fun. They seem to be finding a lot more joy in their life. And they also seem to be making more money. So like that kind of piqued my interest. And then so one day I finally got a bit of courage together and I clicked on a link. So that's how I got here. I hope that wasn't too long.
That was great. So you weren't actually looking for affiliate marketing. You were just looking for something to give you some freedom yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Time freedom. I really wanted time freedom. And, and also something that actually worked financially, so that, like I said, one day I could leave my 9-to-5 job. My husband could leave the mines, and financial security into the future. We were not set up well for that. We were just not set up for that. And so it was looking a bit daunting, what was going to happen in the future when we both finally retired. Were we going to have to pull back financially? Were we going to have to let go of the things that we'd worked so hard for all these years? And I was not prepared to do that. So yeah, that was a big why for me.
Crazy.
Wow. That's extraordinary. So you decided, so you're still running your farms?
Well, we still have a few retired pigs, but no, we're not doing the free range pig farm anymore.
Okay, so was it at that point, did you decide to stop the farming and go?
Yeah, at the time, I just decided, okay, I knew it wasn't working, so we just slowly kind of shut things down a little bit, and and sold off most of the animals most of the pigs at the time. We still had everything else. But yeah, now it's just a hobby farm. It's just something that we love doing. It's just mostly the horses and the cows. So yeah.
So how did it feel for you to take that step? Like, explain to me, what was it that led you to saying yes to this particular thing? Like just to go, okay, this affiliate marketing is actually amazing. This industry is amazing.
Well, I have to say first, it was obviously very daunting. I had no experience whatsoever. I hadn't even heard of it, had no idea really how it worked. So I wasn't sure what I was really getting into right at the beginning, but the more I learned, the more I got a bit excited, particularly with the business that we're affiliated with. When I saw the compensation plan, I was like, what is this, and why have I not seen this like 20 years ago,
All right.
So I got a bit excited, and even though I was not confident at all, I guess I had a lot of doubts about my ability even to build a business on my own, because we've all been there, we've done other things, and we feel like we're failures at things because they didn't work.
Absolutely.
But the truth is, when you finally see a business model that actually works, then you can look back and you look at the other things maybe that you tried and you say, well, maybe it wasn't necessarily all me. Maybe it was that these business models just don't work. They just aren't creating what it is that you are trying to create. They're not getting, like with some things you'll get the money, but you won't have any time freedom, or some things you'll have the time, all the time in the world, but you don't have the money. And some things you just don't get anything. And that's where I was before. So yeah, when I looked at a business model that actually worked and was able to give me, with obviously time and dedication put into it, but nowhere near the amount of time that you have to put into most traditional type jobs or businesses. That's what I saw. And I thought, well, I also saw these women that were very much like me, creating success in an area where they had not had prior experience either. So if they could do it, why couldn't I? So that's what I said to myself. And then the other thing I said to myself was, if not this, then what? What else was it going to be?
Yeah.
Because I tried a lot of things, and it was just not, they just weren't working. Things weren't working. So I was willing to try something that, particularly, like I said, after I saw the compensation plan, I loved the product because, I'm very health orientated. I'm very, even on the farm, I like to keep everything quite natural. I don't like using chemicals. So all, all of that aligned really well with me as well. So yeah, it was a big, as scared as I was, it was still a big yes for me.
Wow. Yeah, you really dived right in, really, because I assume you didn't have a lot of, you didn't have a lot of internet experience, marketing experience online. Everything probably took a long time to get cracking. So you've made an amazing effort to get started. I mean, it can be quite daunting. We know that.
Yes.
And
How long have you been doing it, Kylie?
4.5 years now, just over 4.5 years. Yeah.
Okay. What are some of the key things that actually kept you going through in the beginning? Like what strategies would you use to sort of overcome your self-doubt and get yourself over the line? Because in my experience, I think it's a real process to even, it's a process to get your head around actually having an opportunity to live how you want to live and make money. That in itself is a really difficult concept. For me, was a difficult concept to wrap my head around, because my whole working life has been about, working and pushing through it, and it's, you got to do it. And
yes.
And so what sort of what helped you initially? Was there any, during your self-doubt, did that have anything to do with it, that it was even possible?
Oh, definitely. The self-doubt was a big one. But when like I said, I had that whole, if not this, then what? And I would just tap back into my why, what it was that I wanted, what did I want to create? So if I had those moments where I was like, what am I doing? Like, is this working? Like, how long is this going to take to work? Or all those moments of self-doubt that we go through, like, what's so special about me? Why should I be successful at this? Like, we all think like, there's nothing special about me. Like, why would anyone want to follow me on social media or do anything like that? Like, what is it? At the beginning, we don't know. We don't know that we have our own unique story that other people are going to resonate with. There's so many things that we don't realize coming in. But what I did know was that I could not continue doing what I had been previously doing. And when I could see that other people were doing this, and I believe we have our business Monday night huddles. Every Monday night, someone else will come on and they'll share the experience they've had in this business. They'll share either their success or their journey and their backstory. And for me, seeing that constantly, all different backgrounds, all different kinds of people, all different time frames of how long it took to succeed. Everything was different except for one thing, that if they kept going, if they didn't quit, then they found the success. So, and that's what my mentors had told me. Just don't quit. The only way you can lose is if you quit. So I just kept telling myself that, just don't quit, just keep going. And the reality was, I had made my investment into the business. I was investing my time into the business. But after that, why would I go anywhere else, really? Like, it wasn't real. This business is amazing in that it doesn't necessarily cost us a lot of money to keep going. It can cost you nothing if you want. you just have to keep sticking at it. You just have to keep showing up and doing the thing until it works. So I thought, well, I've got nothing to lose. Just keep going. I've got this amazing product already. That was a bonus. I love that. And all I had to do was just keep going. So why quit? There's no reason whatsoever. All I had to do was, just keep going.
And how have you found, sorry, Tim, how have you found the community?
Oh, sorry.
I
It's all
can't
good,
tell
Kylie. I'm used to
he
Kylie.
had to ask all the questions tonight because you were his guest. And here I am, sorry. Have you found the community during this time?
Amazing. Honestly, I didn't actually come here for a community at all. That was probably the last thing on my mind that I was going to get out of this. That was not part of the thought process whatsoever. But honestly, it's one of the reasons why I'll probably never leave, because it's such an incredible community. And I wouldn't be where I am if it weren't for the community, because it's being around such a positive, like-minded community that keeps you going, that you see that they're supporting you, they're pushing you forward, they want to see you succeed. You know, whether you are financially connected at all, we all are supporting each other. We're helping each other. We love, like I said, we love seeing the success of others in our community and anywhere, to be honest. But, you know, we all believe that a rising tide raises all ships in this community. And so we're here backing each other 100% all the way. So to have a community like that, particularly when you're doing something that can be so very different from the norm. And, you know, like you might be getting some backlash from people that, you know, that are in your normal life. You might be getting backlash from a partner. You could be, you know, feeling a bit out of sorts at work or something, because a lot, you know, obviously a lot of people, you can't just quit your job. A lot of people keep working until they're earning the amount they want to earn to leave their 9 to 5, which is what I did. But, you know, to know that you've got this community that makes you feel like you are the normal one. You know, like a lot of us probably feel like black sheep coming into a community where, you know, we're doing something that it is out of the normal. To have a community that is, to them, it's the done thing. And of course it makes sense to all of us. So why wouldn't you, you know? It helps you feel like you are on the right track all the time. It's amazing.
It is amazing. It's incredibly sustaining, isn't it?
Yes.
And no one's in competition. Everyone we're all kind of surfing the same wave, and we're all, you know, towing each other wherever the other needs to go. And, you know, look, one thing I found that for every person that feels lost in this community, there's someone else to help guide them. It's beautiful. It's actually really nice. And I found that across the board, just in this industry, generally speaking. It's actually a really good industry. The fact that when you affiliate yourself with such an incredible product, really something that's quite life-changing, then it's just the icing on the cake, really.
So true.
Amazing. So Tim, sorry, you go for it now. Sorry.
Well, a couple of things came up. One was, I don't know which one to start with. I'm curious how the conversation went from the start with your husband. Was there any pushback, or was he, you know, not keen for you to try it, or was he all in straight away? How did that go?
It was, he's always very supportive of anything I want to do. So I'm very lucky. He totally didn't understand it, of course. You know, he's only recently got onto social media himself, onto Facebook, like very, very recently. So it was very foreign to him. But one thing, I actually showed him a video of the product, and I think the video was one of the videos that kind of explains how it works and what, you know, a few different things that it does. And he was kind of like, well, we have to get one of those, don't we? And I was like, yeah, well, actually, yes, we do. So yeah, no, he was willing to back me. In fact, he actually backed me financially to help me get started, because I mean, you know, although as a partnership, we share our money, but he's the main earner in our household. So he actually was the one to get the finance for me to get started so that I could start as powerfully as I could at the time. So yeah, he was very good, and he still is my biggest support. So yeah.
So you came in, if I heard you correctly, you came in because you loved the commissions. The income was really appealing to you. At what point, and I assume it has, because you're talking about, well, you didn't say sustainable farming, but, you know, healthy products and natural things and environment. At what point did you suddenly realise that I mean, we can talk about it, the output of the product, the amazing water, was also an incredible benefit? Or did you come through with both, like thinking the whole thing's just an amazing package?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, like just getting started, I still only knew the bare minimum about the compensation plan and the product. I knew probably more about the product, to be honest, because from watching a few videos that really explained what it did. So I probably knew more about the product, but I also knew more about the compensation plan from word of mouth, really, not from studying it or anything like that. The women that were already doing it, I knew one of them personally. She used to be my horsemanship instructor. So yeah, so I knew if she was doing something like this, it was completely legitimate. I could trust her. And then the other lady I knew, not personally, but online. I had done business dealings with her before because she had an online business selling horse equipment. So so I knew them. I knew they were real people. And when they told me about it, I knew I could trust them. So that was enough for me at the time. Yeah, you know, when you can trust your gut about someone, and I already knew them basically. So yeah, I knew that one of them had basically replaced her income in 12 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so that was pretty amazing. And I thought, well, that's definitely worthy of having a go at, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you lead your own team now, don't you?
Yes, I do. But of course, I still have my mentors, and they have their mentors, and you know, we all are mentored by even the people from the top in our incredible business. Like we all have access to our amazing the founders that are running our educational platform, and yeah, it's such an amazing community in that way that, you know, we don't, you know, it's still hard not to, but we try not to put people on pedestals because we're all, you know, we're all the same.
But that's the beauty of it, isn't it?
Yeah, some people have just been here longer than others, so they're a few steps ahead. So, but yeah, I do have my own team, and I support them, and yeah, it's amazing. It's something, another thing, kind of like community. I didn't come in here expecting to be doing something like that. Never really considered myself to be like a leader of sorts. That was a growth thing as well, of course. We get so much personal development in this business, which is amazing because I never had any beforehand at all.
So good. Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't think I needed it, you know. Little did I know. We all need it. But yeah, so that's been amazing for me, and to be able to grow into someone that actually has the ability to support others to do something for themselves as well is pretty amazing.
Yeah. Having your own business, and especially if online marketing is it's the biggest personal development program you can ever step on, really, isn't it? Step forward on. I'm curious because you're obviously, as we talked about at the start, a rural woman. What are some of the things that rural women face that they're just out there doing their stuff? What are they doing that's, you know, this can help them with, apart from money?
I think, well, for some women I know for sure that they're quite isolated.
Yeah.
And this has been a huge godsend for some of them, particularly like I have a couple of women in my team, particularly that, you know, the community has been absolutely everything for them. One is so isolated, like her driveway is 12 kilometers, you know, and you have to be in a 4-wheel drive to actually make it to the end, pretty much. So yeah, she's very isolated. She runs like 10,000 acres on her own, and she's in her 60s, and so this is a massive thing for her.
Is this Glenys?
And another,
Sorry.
sorry.
Yeah.
Is that Glenys?
No, that's Marlene. But Glenys, Marlene actually came in with Glenys. And Glenys, I was just about to talk about Glenys. She's so amazing. So yeah, Glenys was one of the first women to join my team, actually. And we didn't even know each other. But she'd been following me for like a year. And so for Glenys, she was not isolated in that she runs the property with her partner. But she was kind of self-isolating. You know, she kind of had been becoming a little bit insular. And, you know, and this has been amazing for her as well. So it's helped her a lot with her confidence, getting her confidence back. And, you know, she's an amazing leader herself. But yeah, that's been awesome for her. Like she said, she wanted something that would also help her stay, you know, I guess being able to communicate well. She felt like she was actually even losing her ability to communicate that well because she was just avoiding being around people. She was happy around her dogs or horses and hubby, I guess. But yeah, just so community is just one major thing, really. But also, particularly, farming is a very hard. I won't say, like, I'm more of a hobby farmer than they are. They're real farmers. But farming is a hard job. It's very difficult to even earn a profit. Like most people are just living off debt often. And then, you know, we had that drought that I was having difficulty with. Marlene, she had major, you know, struggles through that drought. So when she saw this business, she was like, this is gonna be something to help protect me through these kind of moments, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, being able to create some sort of financial security is a big thing, and into financial independence as well for women, often rural, particularly. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, is as a born and bred city slicker, you kind of think of farming as being communities of people, but of course in Australia they're so far apart, or can be so far apart, and that 12-kilometre driveway, I mean, that's just typical of many farms further out.
Yeah.
And you don't realise, you think everyone's just milling around and chatting to each other and having Devonshire tea and stuff like that. Well, that's me, perhaps, but you know, it's not like that at all. And you know, it must be so. I understand, because we've talked to Glenys, and must be so just you and your husband or partner, whatever it is, working the farm from dawn till night.
Yeah.
And no chance. I mean, it's nothing compared to here, but I know what it's like we all know what it's like to go out in the morning, come back in the dark, and, you know, that's it. And then you go out again. So, but farming is a whole different layer on that. And so I didn't realise that. I didn't kind of get that isolation thing. I know I've heard about it.
Yeah. It can be huge for some.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, though, how this new community of farming women are coming together and connecting online.
Yeah.
You know, and supporting each other that way. Like, how wonderful that we're living in an age that that's actually possible. And what's even better is that it's possible for women our age.
So true. Exactly.
And it's sorry, Tim, I don't mean to leave you out, but just with this particular thing, and I'm not a farmer either, but I just love the fact that isolation was kind of married up with such a wonderful opportunity to expand and build new types of community. I love that evolution. I think it's wonderful. It's wonderful. And there's a lot of it in our particular business too, which is fantastic.
So true.
We
have a lot of rural women in this business, and you know, they are doing quite well too. It's quite amazing. The resilience is a huge part of it, I'd imagine, because, you know, obviously you have those peaks and troughs in a business like that, and farmers that's normal life for them.
Yeah, I chat to a guy who's in our community. He's 300 or 400k west or east, actually, because I'm from the east coast, so it's kind of like east, out in the middle of nowhere, doing cattle farming or stuff like that. And he's in the same way. He's just got his son who's 10 or something like that, and he's just battling on his own, and pretty isolated. And he's trying to talk to farm men, but they're all so busy doing stuff. It's a real challenge. So I totally get that, and it does apply to men. I guess there's certainly probably more women doing that, but it is a real challenge. And
I think isolation is big, not even just for farmers these days. Isolation is a huge thing for people in general.
It is. Yeah, that's right.
Because everyone feels like there's something wrong with them, or
they're the only ones who are isolated. They feel they're the only ones who are isolated, but we're all just isolated, thinking everyone else is okay.
Yeah. So it is wonderful to have a community where you can, you can see that being different can actually be quite good for starters. And being just being who you are is everything you need to do. Like that's perfection. You don't have to be perfect. Please don't be perfect in this industry. Like what? Don't make it too hard for everyone else. Like that's what I tell my team. Don't think you have to be perfect, because you're just making it look too hard for anyone else to think they can do this. Because
good point.
I don't see anyone perfect in this business. That's just not one of the things that we need to be.
See, that's one of the things that I was talking about earlier, about being able to wrap your head around it. This business actually does require you to figure out who you truly are, to figure out how you want to live. And it's such a wonderful opportunity to take a deep dive into yourself and really kind of flourish, let your life unfold and flourish with you at the helm, figuring it out along the way. We're so lucky. We are just so fortunate to have this, truly. We really are.
Yeah, I'm very, very grateful that I discovered this, because it's not just the money. Like I said, it is that community, the personal development. Life has changed for me completely in so many ways. Not just the fact that I've been able to leave my 9 to 5, but the confidence that I've got, the belief I have in myself these days, the belief I have in even the future that I can create for myself and my family. It's just, that's not something that I had 4.5 years ago. So that's huge.
So if someone asked you, they're standing on the cliff edge wondering what to do or whether to go ahead with this, how would you ask them to approach it?
Well, I'm pretty practical. So I think the best thing for most people is just to get more information, because often people get fearful and they pull back instead of finding out what the whole thing actually is. Like, if you're curious, if this you're being drawn to this, there's a reason for that. So don't let your fears come up and then pull you back, because that's just your comfort zones. Like we all stretched our comfort zones majorly to come into something so new that we had no experience in. That's just, biological. That's science. Your body, your brain, it's going to try and stop you. But to support that, get some more information, get some facts about the business, about the industry, about the product, to help you get over that. And and then speak to the people that are in the business that are doing it about your fears too, because I can guarantee you we had them too. We probably came in with the same fears, the same doubts, and we're going to be able to support you through them too. Because we've been there, we've done it. And and we get to basically say, yeah, I totally get it. That was so me, so that you're not thinking that, oh, I'm just being a chicken, I'm just scared, I can't do it, I don't have any belief in myself. We're here to tell you we didn't either. And yet here we are. look where we are now.
Totally.
Yeah.
So if we can do it, you can definitely do it. Like, we're just normal people.
I
You know?
love that. That is one of the things that keeps me moving forward in this space, is that it is so accessible to anybody, you
Well,
know.
you look at our founding members, Christy and Clint, like they couldn't even pay for like rice and tomato sauce or whatever it was on the same credit card.
Yeah,
When,
that's right.
that's where they were. We're talking real people. And
Yeah,
look where they are now. They have 6-figure months
yeah, they do.
every month, pretty much.
They're doing very well, and they give a lot. I have to say, there's a lot of stuff on the platform.
They
that
never stop giving.
They're very, very generous with what they offer, I think. So yeah, there's a lot there. It's a great it's a great platform for people that, really want to choose something that's going to empower them and move them forward in life. And again, this is another wonderful thing about this industry, is that there are several different platforms that you can work off, and each of them have their own flavor and their own way of doing things, and whatever resonates with you is what's going to work for you. And
Exactly.
it's such a great space.
Because there's so many ways to build this business.
Absolutely.
So many ways.
Yeah.
And even if you think, I think a huge thing for people coming in, that kind of makes a lot of people sit on the fence, is that maybe they see something like this, like a podcast or an interview or a masterclass, and they think, well, I can't do that. But what you're doing then is you're comparing someone's middle with your beginning. You're like,
correct.
It's no comparison. I couldn't have done this when I first started.
It's interesting that you say that, because this is your first time on a podcast.
Yeah.
So really, you are a shining example of, someone who can do this, who
I mean,
think you would.
Exactly. And the belief that I have gained from this business, and because I have 100% belief in this business, I have 100% belief in the product, I have 100% belief in where I believe this is taking me these days, because of what I witness constantly around me. That is that is happening in this business, and looking back from where I was to where I am now, like I know, that gives you that belief. But yeah, I just know, I just have so much belief that anyone that is willing to stretch themselves far enough to come in, have a look, say yes to themselves, and do the work, be consistent. I mean, and the work, seriously, like when you compare it to what I was doing previously as a 9-to-5, or what most people are doing, it's not really work, because the hardest part about this business really is showing up.
Yes.
Being yourself, being willing to show up consistently. That's the hardest part. So if you can do that, and you can just tap back into your why, like I did, where else are you going to be? What else are you going to do? How many things have you tried before? Have you seen anything with a compensation plan, a business model that's set up for success like this? I bet you haven't. And if you have, you should come and tell us, because we haven't seen anything.
We want to know about it. Yeah.
We've not seen anything like it. So yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Kiley, it has been nothing short of inspiring having you on our podcast and telling your story. How wonderful. I love it when we have guests on, Tim, and I get off this podcast on a high, right? It's so good. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Any recommended reads?
Oh, I think one of my favorite ones, if you like a bit of humor.
Always.
I actually liked, there was one that I read, and you said it was okay if I swear.
Go for
so
it.
Get Rich Lucky Bitch by Denise Duffield Thomas was quite a funny read.
Nice.
It was a good one, about, particularly stretching those, those glass ceilings we all have about our worthiness for earning money, what we should earn, or what we could earn, or what we can do. That was amazing. obviously the other ones that we're always talking about, the magic, that was a mind-blowing, life-changing book for me, The Magic and the Secret. And I think A Happy Pocket Full of Money is one of my favorites as well.
I thought you'd say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all really wonderful reads. We'll pop the links in the show notes. Tim, can you do that?
Yep.
Tim, the man.
And we'll put a link to your Facebook page.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
For sure.
Just before we end, Tim, any recommended reads?
No, I've been a bit non-ready this week, so I'm glad you asked Kylie that question, because she's just taken my position actually.
I gave you a few.
Yeah, we normally end the podcast with a list of what we've been learning or reading and so on. And I must admit, I haven't been reading anything of value, so to speak. But over to you, Ida. What have you been reading or learning or listening to?
I have actually been rediscovering the joy of being in this space. I feel like recently I've had a bit of a breakthrough where I've realized what a wonderful, I mean, I knew this before, but sometimes I get caught up in life and things, life throws us curveballs, but I'm enjoying getting back to that wonderful space where I feel so incredibly blessed and lucky that I have something like this that carries me through those more tumultuous times. So I've spent my week reacquainting with that side, and it's been really wonderful, and lots of really great developments in the works, and great stuff moving forward. Yeah.
Oh, and
you're beautiful. Thank you so much. That we're going to call it a night, I think, Tim. Yeah.
Let's call it a night. And I just add to what you just said, Ida, because you just reminded me of a mutual acquaintance. We all know Sue Raffin, who talked to us last week and said, you know what, you've got to start having fun in this business. It was like both of us were going, oh, yeah. Okay. So that's changed our week. I'm sure, Ida, you'd agree with that. Really
I agree with that one wholeheartedly. I mean, why would anyone want to come if we're not having fun? So we need to remember that we need to be having as much fun as possible, because that's why we came. That's why I came here. That was one of the reasons. So
true. That's so true. And it's one of the first things for me personally that I forgot to do when I first started. And I kept hearing it over, you got to have fun, and I'm like, you got to work, you got to make it.
It's that workaholic thing that's really hard to get rid of, that whole workaholic mindset. It always keeps trying to come back in.
Not going to let it. No, we're so lucky. Beautiful.
Thanks
thank you so much.
Thanks, and thanks the folk out there for listening and watching to The Ethical Affiliate. This was episode 23.
Woo!
Like us, follow us, love us on Spotify, Podbean, YouTube, wherever you watch or listen to every podcast show. Yep, so thank you. Thanks, Ida. Thanks, Kylie.
You're welcome. It's been my pleasure.
See you later.